Hey everyone. Okay, well that was weird lighting right there. Like my shirt. I'm a dork. Okay, this lighting is really crazy. Okay, I just totally unplugged it. Let's see. Okay, well, yep, I'm in my kitchen, and okay, we're just gonna continue to switch this around, so stay with me, please. Thank you. That was my hair clippy thing. Okay, that's a little bit better. Kind of, sort of, in a way. Anyways, so as you can tell, I'm kitchen dining area, as I normally am, but this is a different view of where I'm at. No, we're not moving. I'm just messy, I guess. My hair is still wet from the shower. I'm actually getting ready to head out right now, to go hang out with my cousin. So if she's watching this, hey Ray. I'm doing a really quick vlog type thing. Maybe not really a vlog. No, not really a vlog. It's just me talking. About some of my most embarrassing moments. Hence the I'm a dork t-shirt, because I'm a dork and these things happen to me. And my cousin once said that she wants to make a movie about my life because of all the embarrassing things that happen to me, and we call them Jenny moments because of the things that seem to only happen to me. Okay, so probably one of my most embarrassing moments was, I think, kind of a rite of passage for every girl, so maybe I know I'm not the only one who's done this or this has happened to, but I think it's really relatable, especially if you're a younger girl and this hasn't happened to you yet, or it has, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. You're not the only one. Yay, you. Okay, so anyways, one of my most embarrassing moments happened in 7th grade, okay? 7th grade. We're just kind of starting from earliest to as I get older. But 7th grade is probably one of my most embarrassing moments. So I'm wearing my little jean shorts and Converse and t-shirt, and I'm at school and I'm at lunch. And my friend points out that I have ketchup on my shorts. And I'm like, oh, great. And I'm like rubbing them, like, oh, well, whatever, you know? And, well, girls, this wasn't ketchup. Yes, my monthly friend had decided to arrive, and I didn't know because this was my first time this has ever happened. And so I'm in class, and and then eventually I start noticing that it's spreading, and I have a guy teacher for my next class, so obviously I'm not going to say anything because I was really freaked out. And then I go to my next class, and it's an English class, and I remember my teacher, Miss something with an M, I think. I can't really remember her name. Let's call her Mrs. Mack, but I'm pretty sure that's our name, but I know it's with an M. She was super sweet and super nice, and she was young, so I felt a bit more comfortable going to her. And I had her for 2 classes, so I kind of knew her a bit more than the rest of my teachers. And I had to take a test for her class after school because I had missed the test day, so I had to stay late. And I was sitting there, and I asked, and I went up to her, and I told her, I think I started my period, I don't know. And I was trying not to cry because I was freaking out. This is the type of thing that a girl needs her mom for. But my mom was at work. So I told my teacher, and so she was she had paper towels, luckily, so she gave me some to put on my seat. And she was like, okay, she's like, well, do you want to finish your test and then go to the bathroom? Because we had to go all the way to the office. I'm like, well, I'll just finish my test because I don't want to go all the way over there and then come all the way back. And I'm like, you know what, let's just finish my test. She's like, okay, so she gave me some paper towels, and I sat on them. And luckily the seats were navy blue, but still. And then she let me her jacket so I could tie it around my waist when I walked to the office just in case. Because she's like, there is boys in the office. And so she went and she told the nurse for me, and she walked me in, she gave me a hug, she's like, it's okay, she want to call your mom, and I'm like, yeah. So I called my mom, and my mom was like, I'm like, Mom, I'm going to start my period. And I'm mumbling it because there was a cute guy in the office. I had a major crush on this guy, and he's working in the office, and I'm like, great, he is going to hear me. So I'm trying to mumble it and whisper it to my mom, and she's like, you what? And I'm like, I started my period. What? Jen, you need to speak up. I can't understand. And she's going to get mad because she didn't hear me. She's like, I started my period. And the guy just turned and looked at me. I'm like, oh my gosh. Just look away. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I cannot believe I just said that super loud. But I had to so my mom couldn't hear me. And she's like, oh, I knew you were going to start soon. And I was just around this age. I'm like, if you knew, why didn't you give me pads to carry my purse? Something, anything, And so luckily my aunt literally lived right around the corner from my middle school, or junior high, however you want to call it. And she came and picked me up, and, we washed my undies, and she gave me an old pair of hers, and then a really big pad that had wings on it and everything, and I was just like, this is complicated. So that was probably one of my most embarrassing moments, because I had to go literally all through school that way, and I was just like, oh, it's ketchup, and then I realized when it wasn't ketchup, that's when I was like, uh-oh, and then saying it out loud and knowing that guy heard, totally embarrassing, but, you live, you get over it. Another embarrassing moment, my first day of high school. Yeah, this was in my Megan Hart's Makeup Letter to Me iPad contest entry. So you kind of got a brief download of it. Not a download, but you got a brief summary of what happened. But it was my first day of middle school, and I had my school map out because I didn't want to get lost. Because I already, I had been to the high school before, but I really wasn't too familiar with it, and I didn't want to get lost going to class. And some of the buildings were 2-story buildings, so I'm like, okay, well, I really, really don't want to be lost running up and down stairs. And I had my pink Converse on with my little white skirt, and it had like a pink ribbon around it and little pleats on the bottom, and it had little rainbow print on it, like little like stamp type looking things. Anyway, I can't describe it, I can't find it, but if I ever do find it, I will definitely put it in another video. But anyways, I had this little pink off the shoulder top that I got at Anchor Blue, and then I had my pink Jansport backpack and my frosted binder. Do you remember these? If you watch Lizzie McGuire, she had one, and mine was like that, except it was pink. And I was obsessed with Lizzie McGuire, so I was a total copycat with her, even up until like now. I still love that show. Anyways, then I had that, and then I was walking to school, and I was like, bye mom, and I wanted to cry because it was my first day of high school. I didn't know where any of my friends were gonna be at. I mean, we all agreed to meet somewhere, but when I got to that meeting spot, I didn't see any of them. And I was like, okay, none of them are here. What am I going to do? I was like, you know what? Whatever, suck it up, get your class schedule, and go. So I got my class schedule. I went, and luckily I had two friends that I knew in my first class. And then I got to that class, okay, and I was going to my next class. And it was my English class. And I really want to get there early because English is my favorite subject. And I figured high school English, how exciting this is. So, and I remember my teacher's name, but I won't say it only because, privacy reasons. But anyways, I was going to this class, and I'm running because I was like, okay, we only have like 5 minutes to get to class. And this was the 2-story building, so I wasn't sure which one it was. I had my map, and I ran into my cousin. And she was 2 years older than me. She's 2 years older than me. She was 2 years older than me. She passed away. And that's another story. She saw me, and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, she's like, stop running. I was like, but I'm gonna be late. She's like, no, you're not. You need to calm down. I was like, okay. I was like, I need to find this classroom. I have my map. She's like, put the map away. And I was like, what? She's like, put it away. And I'm like, oh, so I folded it up. She's like, I cannot believe you're carrying the school map. You're such a dork. And I was like, I don't want to get lost. And so she directed me to the building I was supposed to go to. And I ran in there, and I'm like, okay, where's my classroom? And I couldn't find it. So I asked someone, I'm like, oh, I'm looking for this classroom. And he was like, oh, it's right up the stairs. And I went in, okay, so if I go in through one entrance, my classroom's right there. But if I went through the opposite entrance, and there's stairs, and then the hallway, and then there's stairs up here. So I was like, oh, it's right up the stairs. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. So I go up the stairs, I look around, I'm like, okay, so I'm like, no, these numbers are getting higher. I was like, great. So I ran back down the stairs, and there's stairs, a landing, and then stairs. So I got to the landing, and I'm going down the last little flight of stairs, and some guy bumped me, and I slipped, and boosh, down I went. And I was just like, oh my gosh, in my little white skirt, and I'm just like, great. So I'm going to try to dust myself off, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just started laughing because there really is nothing else you can do but to cry, and I wasn't going to cry. So I laughed, and people just looked at me. I was like, I'm okay. I'm like, oh my goodness, just laugh it off. And so I go, and I'm like running, and I finally find my costume, and I run in there. And luckily for me, one of my best friends from elementary school was in there. I hadn't seen her for like about 2 or 3 years. And so it was super exciting to see her. And I was like, yay, I know somebody. So that was another really embarrassing moment for, 9th grade. 9th grade was a really embarrassing year for me. I got thrown in the trash can. Yes, I did. Very cliche freshman in trash can was me. I was like queen of the little mini skirts, like the little pleated ones, because they had a bunch of them at Marshall's and Ross for like really cheap. So that was my back to school wardrobe. I just bought a bunch of skirts because my legs were super tan and toned from the summer and PE and everything. So I was like, why not show them off in little skirts? So I wore little skirts, like they weren't super short, but they were, above the knee. And so I'm wearing them, and I'm short, so it doesn't look, hoochie or anything because I am so short. If I wear any long skirts and I don't wear high shoes with them, I look very dowdy and short and frumpy. So anyways, I wear my little short skirts, and I'm like laughing and talking to my friends, and this guy was like, show me your underwear. And I was like, ew, like, seriously, are you perverted or something? So I walked away from him, and he comes over, he grabs me, he flips me upside down and sticks me head first in the trash can, and we're on a hill. The trash can tips over with my weight in it, and I go rolling down, and my friend's like, you just see your little legs flapping, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, kill me now. How embarrassing. And this guy that I was crushing on was standing right there, and he even laughed. I was so upset with my friends because they all laughed at me. They waited till I finished, my descent down the hill in the trash can, crawled out, and, like, dusted myself off, and they're like, oh my god, they were laughing, are you okay? And I just looked at them and I'm like, I'm going to class. Like, I went to class early. I'm sitting there, and one of my friends in class came up behind me, and he, like, picked a piece of trash out of my hair, and he's just like, he put it on my desk, he just looked at me, and I'm like, don't ask, and I threw it away, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. So, those are probably my top 3 most embarrassing moments from middle school to high school to 9th grade. I'm now 21, and trust me, I've built up quite a bit of embarrassing moments. Another one is at work. So this is probably the most recent one. It was like last year sometime, which really wasn't very long ago because last year was only like 5 months ago or something. So I mean, it is kind of a while, but not really. Anyways, last year sometime. So we were really busy at work, and I work in fast food. Just so you know, I won't tell you where I work, but I work in fast food. So I'm running to go give this guy his order because we got backed up really bad in orders, and I slipped on the mat because under the mat there was, I guess, water. So it's good if you have slippers and shoes, but when the thing under the mat has water, the mat actually slides, so your foot slides with it. So I slid. I literally went like Superman status into the wall. Like, down, and like I banged up all the side of my arm and my leg. I had a massive bruise on my hip, and the guy in drive-thru didn't even say if I was okay. He was just like, am I gonna get a different order now? Like, you're not gonna serve that to me, you're not gonna give that to me, right? I was like, no, of course not, I'm gonna give you a different order. Like, back up my line even more. I'm okay though. So that was probably another one of the most embarrassing moments because I wanted to cry at her really bad, but I was also really embarrassed because I ate it big time, and he saw, and then all the people that were back saw, and I'm just like, great, perfect, that's not embarrassing at all. So those are some of my most embarrassing moments. I'm sure I have more, and if I can remember more, I will do another video for them. But show me that I'm not alone, and leave your video response from your most embarrassing moments, okay? And I will talk to you guys later. Bye!